hero is in a bit of a bind. His predicament is similar to one we've seen many times in the MySQL world. This is serious, folks. MySQL is a superior database for these modern times, revered for ease of use and openness. But to our dismay, it has been shackled by the limitations of general-purpose hardware. This, my friends, can tie you in knots when attempting data warehousing and analytics. Number 1, long-running queries. 2, scalability limitations. 3, too much time spent tuning those despicable queries when you should be enjoying your morning coffee. Talk about melodrama. In these fast times, more and more citizens are clamoring to access the gargantuan amounts of data being collected. Alas, this is only worsening a contemptible situation. With no room to maneuver, grown men and women have been reduced to wailing and self-flagellation. Talk about being trapped. What's our hero to do? How will he wriggle out of this one? What he really needs is magic. He needs Kickfire.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Bruce Armstrong, the CEO of Kickfire, and I want to start by saying it's great to be here at the MySQL conference. We're truly thrilled and honored to be one of the top sponsors again at this year's show. The MySQL community is very important to us as we have built our company from the ground up with a single purpose in mind, and that's to accelerate the performance of MySQL for reporting and analytics. As we tried to show in the opening video, more and more people in the MySQL world are beginning to analyze the data that they've been capturing and are beginning to feel trapped. Analytic queries such as who are my best e-commerce customers or which online ad generated the most click-throughs last month are very different from transactional queries in that they are typically much more complex and are run against large amounts of data. People outside the MySQL world are spending millions of dollars to get high performance on these types of queries. I should know I used to be the head of Teradata, the world's largest data warehouse company, and we would often sell systems for $10 million or more that would take months, if not years, to get up and running in production. Today, we want to show you some magic that's going to help those problems disappear. The Kickfire MySQL appliance. As some of you may remember from last year's show, we launched the company name Kickfire and announced that we had broken 4 world record data warehouse benchmarks for performance and price performance. Since then, we have signed a global multi-year agreement with Sun and have also formed alliance relationships with leading open source business intelligence companies. Today, we have a generally available product. We are announcing our latest product version and other important alliance relationships, and most importantly, production customers with proven performance results. So we said we would show you a little magic today. To help me out with that, I'm going to ask Dhiren Patel to come up on stage with me. Dhiren is our Director of Solutions Consulting and was responsible for the MySQL relationship while he was at Solid. What Dhiren's going to do is point out some of the props we have. On your left, you can see we have a beefed-up general-purpose server with 32 gigabytes of RAM and 2 quad-core CPUs. And what we've done is we've loaded a large MySQL data warehouse on this machine with hundreds of millions of rows. And on your right, we have the Kickfire appliance, also with 32 gigabytes of RAM and its query processing module, but there's no data on the Kickfire appliance at this point in time. So the magic we're going to show you is that in the time it takes to run a single complex query on the general purpose machine, we're going to actually load the same database on Kickfire, run through my presentation, and then run that same complex query on Kickfire all before that query completes on the general purpose machine. So Dhiren, why don't you show everybody the schema we're going to be querying?
Okay, Bruce. Pull up MySQL Workbench here. And you can see the schema is a fairly common Web 2.0 data warehouse schema. We have 2 tables that we call fact tables that have hundreds of millions of rows. And in this case, we have 4 tables we call dimension tables that have tens of thousands of rows.
Okay, and why don't you show everybody the query we're going to run?
Okay. For this test, I've created a typical analytical query that it joins 3 tables, does a group by and order by. So let's run this on both our general purpose hardware and on Kickfire. So probably the easiest way to do this is we can just copy and paste into the MySQL command line. And just for fun, we'll kick off a little timer here to watch it go. Whoops, I guess I should start MySQL. And kick off a timer, and there it goes.
Great. Now, why don't we kick off the load on the Kickfire appliance now, Darren?
OK, so now I'm loading the exact same data that we have that the other query is running on the general purpose hardware. We're loading that same data onto the Kickfire box.
OK, well, listen, while the data is loading on the Kickfire appliance, allow me to tell you a little bit more about our company and our product. The people at Kickfire come from successful systems and data warehouse companies such as Sun and Intel and Teradata and Oracle. Our founders have over 50 patents, and we're backed by top-tier venture capitalists who were early investors in very successful open source, web, and systems companies like these. So why did these investors choose Kickfire? And how did we become #1 in the world in data warehousing price performance? To see why, we'd like to show you some of the magic that's inside of the Kickfire box. The Kickfire appliance is packed with innovative technologies such as our next-generation column store and our compression engine, which eliminate the traditional I/O bottleneck associated with running queries against large volumes of data. But what makes us truly unique and has allowed us to become #1 in price performance is our patented SQL chip. Kickfire has developed the industry's first SQL chip, which parallel processes database queries at ultra-high speeds. Similar in concept to NVIDIA's high-performance graphics chip, each of the Kickfire SQL chips is equivalent to dozens of general-purpose CPUs. Thanks to the patented SQL chip, the MySQL database running on Kickfire beats Oracle, Microsoft, IBM, and every other startup out there in data warehousing price performance. So we didn't just want to make the Kickfire appliance fast, we also wanted to make it really easy to use for reporting and analytics on MySQL. So for this reason, we developed a whole product with the following characteristics. First, we developed a true plug-and-play appliance running MySQL Enterprise. What this means is that the hardware and software, including MySQL Enterprise 5.1 today, is preloaded and pre-integrated on the Kickfire appliance for optimum performance and ease of use. Second, not only is it fast to get data out of the Kickfire appliance, it's very fast to get data in. We can load data at over 100 gigabytes per hour. And more importantly, we have a very fast incremental loader, which allows you to rapidly apply the changes to your, just to your source data to Kickfire. In addition to this, we have built-in high user concurrency for the online world. And running analytics for today's web business is very different than when I was at Teradata. Everybody needs access to information today, not just a few knowledge workers in the back room. So we've designed Kickfire to run over 100 concurrent and 1,000 active users on a single machine. So all this technology is great. How much does it cost? This is where the real magic comes in. Here's a picture of a typical data warehouse machine available on the market today. And you'd spend over $500,000, and it would probably take you weeks, if not months, to get up and running in production. A single Kickfire box delivers equal, if not better, performance for less than 10% of the price. So this is some of the magic of Kickfire today. And if you'd like to verify this, you can go out to tpc.org and see the world record benchmark results that we have posted there. OK, so Darren, enough of that commercial. Why don't we switch over and see how that complex query is doing?
OK. No, it looks like it's still running.
OK, and why don't we check and see how the load's doing on Kickfire?
OK, it looks like the database finished loading in under 2 minutes. And just to make sure everything's there, let's just check one of the tables here. So this is one of the larger tables. And you can notice we loaded a little more than 360 million rows. So that table and all the other tables in under 2 minutes.
Great. Now, why don't you run that same complex query against Kickfire?
OK. Let's just cut and paste the query. So this is going to run the same query, doing joining the 3 tables and group by and order by. And as you can see, it came back in under 4 seconds.
That's fantastic. Thank you. with that kind of performance, Kickfire enables what the industry calls interactive data warehousing. And so to show you this, we're going to show you the power of Kickfire combined with the ease of use of Pentaho's open source business intelligence suite. And Pentaho and Kickfire are partnered to deliver a complete end-to-end data warehouse solution for you, including extract, transform, load, and a variety of different query capabilities. Darren, why don't you walk us through some of those query capabilities?
Okay. As you can see, the Pentaho open source business intelligence suite has dashboarding, it has OLAP analytics, and it has ad hoc querying.
Okay, so why don't we create an ad hoc query using Pentaho's tool, run it on Kickfire, and then display those results back in Pentaho when it's done on Kickfire.
Okay, so we can do a basic port. Why don't we show the click-throughs for this website by link type, and we can filter by state. And let's make sure we're summing our clicks there. We can do a little formatting. And how about we say Washington for the state?
Sounds good.
And we'll call this report click mix and hit go. So as you can see, the data came back very quickly, so it allows users to interactively query the data. And you can see the same type of data in an OLAP pivot table form or even in a graphical dashboard. And I should note that all of the queries required to generate all of these reports plus the OLAP pivot table ran concurrently on Kickfire while I was generating that ad hoc report.
That's fantastic, Darren. Thank you very much. But to demonstrate the true performance of Kickfire, it's always best to listen to our customers. So I'm going to ask Justin Lin, VP of Products and co-founder of Mamasource, to come up on stage and tell us about his experiences using Kickfire. Thanks, Justin.
Thanks, Bruce. Very happy to be here today. So, how many moms or parents in the audience today? Not too bad. For those who haven't heard of us, Mamasource is an innovative online community for moms who, as a consumer segment, control 80% of U.S. household spending. Over 2 million moms have joined Mamasource to share advice and local recommendations and connect with other moms in their area. We also recently launched the Mamapedia, which is a compendium of millions of answers to thousands of questions on everything related from parenting advice to running a household, all written by the ultimate experts, other moms. So at Mamasource, we use data all over our business, but perhaps most important is how we use data to improve the customer experience, taking the behaviors and interests that we know of from our moms and personalizing what she sees on her website and in her emails to make the content and experience more relevant to her. What we also do is target our advertising better using the data, and that helps in turn drive up revenues. So a pretty common use of data warehousing and analytics out there. Obviously, as you might imagine, we use MySQL to power our website, and that's worked out pretty well for us. But on the data warehousing and analytics side, things were just getting too slow. Our data load times and our query performance were suffering as our data size grew. We are currently over 300 gigabytes in our data warehouse today. It's growing at about a gigabyte a day. And we soon realized that even with heavy database tuning and beefed up hardware, that we weren't going to be able to get the performance we needed. So we also looked into re-architecting, but that wasn't very appealing either in terms of those options. I've been involved in the MySQL world for over 10 years, and when I heard about Kickfire, I thought it was too good to be true. A plug-and-play appliance that can deliver orders of magnitude performance gains for $32,000. It didn't seem possible. I remember telling Steve Ketchbell, our head of analytics, whom you can meet at the session later this morning, that basically I'd believe it when I saw it. And we'd give it a try. So we did, and we loaded some of our own data and ran some of our hardest queries against the box, and we were blown away. Our jaws dropped when we saw the results. We were seeing anywhere from 10 to 600 times, 600x performance improvements right off the bat. And we soon moved to installing the Kickfire appliance into our production data center. It was up and running in minutes, and we are currently running queries every day against the box. Thanks to Kickfire, we're now able to see how we can scale our data for the long term into the billions of rows, and focus more of our attention on our core mission, which is to make the lives of moms just a little bit easier every day. So thanks very much, Bruce.
Thanks, Justin. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to ask Darren to jump back on the stage, and we're going to check that query one more time on the general purpose machine to see if it's running.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like it did come back a little over 11 minutes.
11 minutes versus 4 seconds. I think that's about 165 times faster, which is, as you've seen, is the typical kind of results we're getting in our customer base. So thanks, Darren. Really appreciate it. Thank you to Justin as well. Before I wrap up my presentation today, I have one final announcement to make. Again, I want to stress that the MySQL community is very important to us, and for this reason, we've tried to develop good relationships with some of the community thought leaders, such as Peter Zaitsev and Jeremy Cole and Baron Schwartz and Keith Murphy and others. And we've sought out their guidance on product direction as well as how best to work with the community. So now it's our chance to give back to the community. While we're an open source based business, you can't really download hardware yet, although I want to see the Open Spark project. Today we're going to announce the next best thing, and that is that we are going to give away a Kickfire appliance for free as part of the first ever data warehouse contest for the MySQL community, sponsored by Kickfire. Thank you. In this contest, we're looking for people who are struggling to get the kind of performance they need out of MySQL for reporting and analytics on general purpose computer. The competition starts today. It's open for the next month online at kickfire.com. We're going to run it sort of like an American Idol. We've got an independent panel of judges, including Peter Zaitsev of Percona Group and Robin Schumacher, Director of Product Management at Sun, as our MySQL experts, and Joy Mundy of the Kimball Group and Kurt Monash of the Monash Group as our data warehouse experts. Our judges will select the finalist, and then we're going to put it back out to the community so that you can vote for the final winner. So we look forward to seeing your data warehouse stories, and more importantly, we look forward to helping you improve the performance of MySQL for reporting and analytics. Thank you very much. Come see us at our booth.